Hi everybody, this is Kathy L. Murphy, aka the Pulpwood Queen, reporting live from my little cabin in the woods, Murphy's Law. Now, I just got back home. I was helping my daughter yesterday evening move out of my house where she's been staying while she's been waiting for her house to get ready over in Tyler, Texas. But when I came home, I looked at a wonderful gift that I was given. First of all, by Mandy Haynes, who's the executive director and the creator, editor-in-chief, and publisher of our Reading Nation magazine. She had included a love letter from author Leslie Lear. It kind of blew me away, and I've got some more things to share, but I just wanted to say a personal thank you to everybody who sent me gifts, sent me messages, reached out to me. I'm just kind of overwhelmed. But as I enter this 65th year, I'm going to share this with you because I want y'all to really know that how much this letter meant to me, and how I want everyone that reads this letter, hears this letter, to then pen one themselves. Send this out to someone who's been instrumental in your life or changed you in a good way. The first thing I did was send a message off to Robert Gray of Shelf Awareness. Shelf Awareness is my online publisher insider daily blog that I read every day. And Bob, for as long as I can remember, has been covering first my beauty shop bookstore, my International Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys Book Club Reading Nation. And if it hadn't have been for him championing an underdog like me in this big publishing world, I wrote him a love letter. And so I want all of you to do that. But to give you an idea what a love letter really is, let me share this with you. I'm going to switch the camera back. Let's see if I can do that. I know I can turn it around. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. We're going to turn it around. Hang on. Well, I'll just turn it this way so you guys can see. Here we go. First of all, our Reading Nation magazine came out yesterday, which is championed by Mandy Haynes, our executive director. And I get this message, and it says, what it means to be a Pulpwood Queen. And there's our wonderful anthology that we put out this year, the Pulpwood Queens Celebrate 20 Years. You see, we're going into our 21st year. There I am in the salon chair, looking quite thin, by the way. Thank you, Nicole Sides, who did that cover for me. I told her to use her own license, and she created this. It's so typical. Me sitting in a chair with all my stacks of books, tiara, hairdryer, boas, hot pink, leopard print. I can't thank Brother Mockingbird and Melissa Carrigy for publishing this book. It was edited wonderfully by Susan Cushman. If you have not read this book, it's an anthology of nearly 70 of our authors telling the world what their book club meant to them and what our annual book club convention. But as I scroll down to read this letter, let's see. Let me see if that's the beginning of it. Let's see if this is the beginning. Hang on. All right. Nope, that's not the beginning of it. Sorry, guys, I thought I had this all set up. So let's see if I click on here. What happens? Da-da-da. Well, I'm just going to have to read part of it, you guys, because I can't seem to get the letter to open up for me with one hand. So I'm just going to read this. It says, thanks to Brother Mockingbird, I'd like to share an excerpt of one of the Pulpwood Queens featured in the collection, The Pulpwood Queens Celebrate 20 Years. In the beginning. This is by my good friend and author, Christopher Cook, who is in Prague right now, but he is an East Texas boy raised down in Beaumont, Port Arthur, and he was very instrumental in helping me put my book together. Hang on, things are happening here. I'm negotiating a new computer. He said, after living for several years in France and Mexico, I returned to the United States for a while about 20 years ago to catch my breath. I'd written a novel and I needed to sell it. I was broke and in debt, so I took a paying job as an editor of a statewide magazine in Texas. First thing on my plate upon arrival in Austin, find good feature stories ideas for the magazine. So I began poking around and a rumor caught my attention. A rumor about a woman up in northeast Texas, somewhere around Caddo Lake, somewhere on the outskirts of a small town of Jefferson, who ran a business that was both a beauty salon and bookstore. She had also started a book club called the Pulpwood Queens. That sounded like a dandy feature idea to me, so I decided to sign it to a freelance writer. Then I changed my mind. Hang on. The story was just too damn good to give it to another writer. If one of the perks of an editor's job isn't claiming, oh my goodness, what is going on with my computer? Well, that shows you I'm a flawed queen. The story was just too damn good to give it to another writer, so I decided that I would claim the story for myself, which of course required thorough research and an interview, which naturally meant a road trip. So I packed a bag, I jumped into my Dodge pickup truck, and I headed northeast toward the East Texas piney woods and the hamlet of Jefferson, population 2,000 or so. I recall hitting the road with a surge of excitement. There's no adventure like chasing down a good story, as any writer knows. Add a bit of travel and into the mix, and well, that's how I met Kathy Murphy. Then as now, Kathy is no mere beautician. Nor was she a simple bookseller. No, she proved to be something much an idea of ambitious ideas, a whirlwind of energy, an explosion of creative possibilities. In short, a force of nature. It didn't take a genius to realize that Kathy was starting a venture that had the potential to grow much larger. But in those days, in the beginning, the endeavor seemed modest. A project likely limited by the parameters of time and place. Because even under the best conditions, success is an iffy proposition. The world is cruel, and most ideas, even great ideas, die on the vine. On the other hand, Kathy clearly wasn't your average human being. Her whole attitude was so upbeat and positive. She seemed full of what the French describe as joie d'esprit. You found yourself really wanting her to succeed because her success would validate this world as a place worth living in. Her beauty shop back then was called Beauty in the Book. It was a single room tacked onto the side of a large, sprawling home, itself tucked beneath towering pines on a large wooded lot fronting a rural county road. It was not an auspicious location for a business of any sort, I thought. Inside, the shop was stuffed with shelves and books interspersed with salon chairs and mirrors, the air perfumed with aromas of both printed paper and beauty products. As for her book club, the Pulpwood Queens, it was just a handful of local women who shared Kathy's love of reading. They met regularly at Kathy's home for potluck dinners and discussions of books they were devouring together. Merging the social aspects of eating and visiting with the intellectual aspects of reading good books seemed to me a fine way to build and celebrate community. All in all, Beauty in the Book and the Pulpwood Queens and the woman behind those endeavors made for a fine human interest story. So I spent the day with Kathy in her shop. A prolonged interview of sorts, while she told me her story and gave some customers haircuts and permits. Then I returned to Austin and I wrote my magazine feature. It was a fun story to write because Kathy was a fascinating person and her beauty shop book business was both unique and inspirational. When the feature was published, the response from our magazine readers was enthusiastic. Find out the rest of the stories inside the pages of the Pulpwood Queens Celebrate 20 Years. Well, y'all, that was a story that Christopher Cook wrote back when I was first starting in my little shop. And as the story has continued, I've got my girls settled in their homes. I'm looking at the future, and I came home and I thought there is just got to be some way I can thank everybody who has got me to where I'm going. So I just wanted to share this. There's going to be a video each day this week that's going to share how grateful and thankful I am for all of you supporting me. It's been a trying time, y'all. But But I am a very positive person. I'm just like anybody else. This COVID thing has really zapped a lot out of me. But I also had a day moving my daughter in her first home, the first home that she's lived in all by herself. And I was thinking to myself, what a wonderful world for my daughters ahead. And what a wonderful world that we've had this reading life and we've shared it with all of you. My life has always been an open book. It's messy, it's complicated, but it's authentic, it's real. And I just really want to thank you. 65, whew, big number. But I am truly thankful. So each day I'm going to do a video this week. So join me live around noontime, and I'm going to share with you my deep appreciation for your love and friendship. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mandy Haynes. Leslie, I will share your letter, and I've got a lot more to share. I've got some really amazing stories to tell. So join me all this week live. I'll try to do it around noon every day. So thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth and Marlene, for joining me. And there'll be more. So till tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.